I am Ramona and welcome to Ramona Interviews. And with me in the chair today, smelling of roses. I had to say that just because you'll just understand. Thank you for coming on, Sean.
Thank you,
Tell us
Ramona.
about this creative, natural gift and how people can experience it.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for letting me be here. I'm one of the owners of Jolie Fleur. We're on Park Avenue in Worcester. How do I put all of that into a snapshot? I don't know. I think it's a lifetime of experience. I didn't grow up here in the United States. I grew up in Wales, South Wales, in a very sort of pastoral setting. I had classical art training, and so I think that the culmination of life experiences, my childhood, and a desire to work with flowers resulted in this thing that's happening on Park Avenue. It's just a wonderful experience, and we're really enjoying doing it. The connection is Paris. The connection is my love of the country, of the food, the wine, and I really wanted the shop to resemble the flower shops of my youth that I was in love with. So when we design, and I have a fantastic team of designers that work with me that embrace this aesthetic, primarily in our vision is to create something that's timeless, that's natural looking, that's been composed so that it looks as though it's been dug from a meadow and placed in a vase. And that's the first notion that goes through our mind when we're constructing a piece. Now, along with that, there are techniques that are tried and proven that all florists understand and use. Making an armature, some sort of a contraption that will hold the stems in the vase that you're using. Balance and form and continuity. We want the colors to make sense. But at the same time, there's no color rules in nature if you think about it.
That's true, there isn't.
No, flowers don't get up and move because they don't like growing next to that one that's yellow or purple. Yeah. They grow where their seeds fall. So, this is something that's man-made, and sometimes we play with ignoring the man-made rules and use what we think is a natural representation with the use of color and texture. Large flowers, delicate flowers, flowers that are sometimes frowned upon, we'll use them all if there's a place for them in our designs.
Tell us a little bit about your bridal style.
Okay. Well, every florist loves to work with a bride, and we're not unusual in that regard. We love our brides. We are very careful at the onset to work with the desires of the client. We really want to listen to what their voice is. We don't want to push a particular design on the bride. We want her to be happy with the work that we do, and we want it to be her first choice. So what we'll do is we consult with the bride, and sometimes her mom, her maid of honor, and oftentimes the fiancé will come along. We take about an hour, and we work through a process that I've developed over time that works very well, where we list out all of the individual elements of the wedding. We spend a lot of time talking about her bouquet. We want to know about the dress. We want to know about the color, the neckline, the waist. We measure the bride. We make sure that the piece that we're going to design for her is proportionately scaled for her, for her stature, for her height, for her waistline. We talk about the colors that she loves. Does she like fragrance or not? If she's okay with the fragrance, then we'll just make sure that we get something in there that's going to evoke some sort of an emotional response after the wedding.
And how do you do that?
Okay. Well, there's a technique that we use to hide the underside, the stems underneath the bouquet that might be exposed. Sometimes it's desirable to have those beautiful stems nice and clean and showing, but oftentimes if we're really just after the crown of a flower and it doesn't have a very attractive stem, we want to hide that. So what we'll do is we'll use things like fragrant herbs. Rosemary is perfect, because we can strip the little leaves off and leave enough stem that we can attach it underneath and then finish it up with satin, bark, raffia, whatever, burlap, whatever the bride would like us to finish it in. But the idea with the herbs are that when she brushes it accidentally, if she touches it as she's holding her flowers, the herbs will release a fragrance. And we want there to be a connection when she's using that in the kitchen, cooking at home, to take her back to that day, that wedding day, when she's holding that beautiful bouquet. So that's a fun thing that we do, with permission, with permission.
And when you look at designing, because you have a kind of signature style,
Yep.
which is the flowers that are very close together,
Yep.
and they're done that way, does that carry into all the bridal designs? And how much give and play is there with that? Because you do choose unique, beautiful flowers when you do your designs.
Thank you. Well, there are a number of things to think about. When we talk to the bride about the style that she cares for, we're trying to find out, does she want something loose? Does she want a simple gathering? Does she want it tight and manicured? The style that you're describing that we're known for is, it's a French manicure, is what it is. It's a coiffed, really beautifully shaped, recognizable dome, and the flower is flower heavy. Meaning it's not necessarily heavy, physically heavy, but there's very little filler, if you will. It's all about the flowers. We didn't pioneer that design. I tell people this all the time. Martha Stewart didn't invent it either, but she made it famous. There are wonderful designers that will embrace this style. It's one of us. It's one of our particular choices because it is such a timeless look. You'll see this type of composition in any number of classical paintings. What we try to do is we try to make the pieces look as natural as possible, because you can overly work a design so that it becomes constrained and it doesn't look natural. We try to strike a balance between composing a piece and not making it look artificial and still look natural. And I'm sure it wouldn't be surprising to you that a lot of our brides want an absolutely clean look. They want it to be perfectly symmetrical. They want it to be like a small cushion, and we're happy to do that for them. But on the other hand, there are brides that want a really beautiful green, organic look that's trailing, that is cascades, that has unusual profiles and textures. And
those textures would come from the flowers that you choose, is that
yes,
correct?
That's right. Yeah, we all of us are gardeners, and the staff. We've all had some experience, either if not in a nursery, with parents who have been avid gardeners, and it's not unusual to see unusual plants come from home that we've loved and grown, and we'll incorporate them. It's not unusual for me to do a bouquet 3 times. And it drives everybody crazy in the shop, the staff, because I take so long making sure that that bride has the perfect bouquet. So we are La Jolie Fleur. It means the pretty flower. And we're at 263 Park Avenue in Worcester. Our website is www.lajoliefleur.com. It's the shop name.com. We try to keep our catalog. I call it a catalog, but it's really an archive of our work, current. So there's always beautiful photographs of our favorites of the week, and we can be reached by phone at 508-752-2272. Again, that's on the website.
And you're full service, so you do
We're
everything.
full service. Yes,
Everything.
Ramona. Yeah, we do the whole thing. Weddings, events, funerals, sympathy, get well soon, I love you, and Valentine's Day, the line is out the door.
I am Ramona, and you've been watching Ramona Interviews. Have a fragrant day.